Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 41st tutorial in this course, and in this tutorial we're going to check out the URL encode method in PHP. And this function is very important, and we're going to check out one application of this function. There are actually many things for which this function can be used, but anyway, I've got two files opened up in my text editor. The first one is called URL encode.php, and the second one is URL underscore destination.php. Really short and sweet script files. And on the line number 6 in the first script file, which is URL encode.php, I have the opening PHP tag. On line number 8 I have the closing PHP tag, and in between these two tags I have created a variable called hobbies, and this has the text reading space and space playing space guitar. So it has these words in it, and if you notice, I have an ampersand symbol in this text value, right? So if you guys remember from the last tutorial, we saw that if we want to pass in multiple values in the query string, then we use the ampersand as a separator between the values that are passed. So in this case, even though we are interested in just outputting the contents of the variable hobbies over here, we actually have the ampersand symbol here. So at the destination page, PHP is going to say, okay, this should be the first value that I have to put in the get super global, and this has to be the second value. So it's going to actually dissect this string into two parts, and that's not something that we want. We want this entire string to be treated as one single string. So the way we're going to get around this problem is by using the URL encode function. And what this function does is it actually replaces this ampersand symbol with something that does not have a special meaning for PHP when it fetches values from the query string, right? And I hope I'm making sense here. But anyway, on line number 9 I have the anchor tag, and I have first typed in the destination file name, and that is URL underscore destination.php. I have the question mark to begin my query string, and then I have typed in the text hobbies equals, and then I've just outputted this string within the URL encode function, right? So we're going to see how this function works when we check out the output of this file in the browser. So just hang on with me, even if I'm not making too much sense right now, just hang in for a while. And over here in this file I'm not doing much. I'm basically just outputting the hobby by using the key hobbies here within the get super global. And the reason why I've used hobbies here is because hobbies is what I've typed here in the query string. So if I change this to just hobby, I'll change this to hobby, and I'll also have to change this to hobby, right? So this is to just emphasize on the point that I made in the last tutorial, that whatever key you use within the get super global, it has to match with the text that you have within your query string, right? So this is really very important. And I'll save the file. I'll show you the output of this file, and localhost, and then what we are interested in looking for is URL encode.php. So I'll type in URL encode.php, and we see this link to go to the destination page, and when I click on it I see hobbies, reading and playing guitar, right? So this text was displayed, but I want you to pay attention to what happened in the URL bar of the browser. So in the last tutorial we saw that the values were passed, and there was nothing fancy in there, but over here we see that we first see reading, and then we see the addition symbol, and then %26. So this is something that the URL encode function has done for us. It has replaced the ampersand with something that is an HTML substitute for it. So this was passed instead of the ampersand symbol, so that at the destination page PHP didn't get confused about whether it had to split these two strings, this string into two parts, or whether it had to use it as one string. And then it has just displayed the rest of the text, which is playing guitar, right? So %26 is a substitute for the ampersand symbol. And likewise there are a lot of characters that cannot be passed in just the way we pass in other characters, like alphabets and numbers. And for all those characters, URL encode is a function that we must use. And when you use this function, as I said, it replaces those characters about which PHP is sensitive with the substitutes, and then at the destination page it again translates back to whatever text that was originally present in the query string. Right, so that's what the URL encode function does. And I hope you guys had fun watching this tutorial. I'm going to see you in the next one, in which we'll continue our discussion on passing values from scripts to other scripts. And you may subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. See you in the next video. Till then, take care.